Hey, everybody, this is Sports Take. I believe our 40th episode. We have the president. He doesn't have his video, but he's here with us. And we're going to get started with Sports Take. Uh, I had a question for my baseball people. That would mean Brother Elanis. We also had Brother Lawrence that was supposed to be here, but he was he couldn't make it. Uh, Brother Altuve is switching to the outfield. Is that a hard transition for an infielder?
Not really. Um, the biggest thing will be uh, the depth perception of fly balls. He'll have to get used to that. I mean, he'll have big league fly balls coming out to him, but he'll have to get used to the ball off the bat in the air. He's got to. The biggest thing he'll probably need to do during spring training is take live when they're hitting live BP. He should be out there in the outfield tracking fly balls then to try to get accustomed to the flight of the ball off the bat, whether or not it's hooking or slicing or something like that. So, throughout the course of spring training, he should be able to adjust.
I have to say, as a former Pee Wee League outfielder, I was never able to get that. They would hit the ball, I would run in, and it would go behind me, or I would go backward and it would drop right before me, or I'd get to it and I put the glove up and it would hit me in the head. So that
well,
was not my thing.
well, Carl.
However, I will say this: as I got older and I was much more, I just said I was not going to let the ball beat me as I got older. So I would actually play first base because I could actually, make sure I could get the ball coming right at me, and I had to really formulate to catch that ball, but I was able to do it, and I still have that kind of thing that I do. Those old things that you have to deal with. So,
Well, Carl, I'll give you a clue. Outfielders should never take a step in. I mean, they should, if anything, take a step back, uh,
okay,
and then go from there. But the really good guys, if you if you turn sideways, then you kind of get a better depth perception as to which way the ball is, if it's in or over your head, and you can kind of tell from the crack of the bat and the swing as to where the ball should end up or where the ball is going. So those are the little tricks that you find out while you're out there and you're taking. That's why I said take fly balls off the bat during batting practice, because you get a real sense as to how the ball is flying and how to track it, whether it's in or back.
since we're on baseball right now, how do we think was their first uh, big season game or official game? Was that today, or
No,
are
they
they
open
still?
up on the
Uh,
27th.
yeah, they don't
They
start
open up on
until
the 27th against the Mets. The New York
correct
Okay,
next
Mets.
week. Next
so
week.
how do we think they're gonna do this year?
Well, lately they've been playing pretty good in the spring. You can't really tell from spring training because they got so many different things going on. They're trying to they're trying to look at certain players. They got guys that are on their roster that, they want to take a look at and see where they should fit in the minor leagues. They may be on the big league roster, but they may not be on the big league team. They may still end up in AA or AAA. And so they're taking a look at that. They're obviously taking a look at their pitching to see who can make the big league club out of spring training as far as pitching is concerned. That's the main concern. But you got Altuve, Alvarez, um, um, Pena, the shortstop, McCormick, the outfielder. Altuve is now playing, I guess, outfield. Um,
Who
So
is this guy?
Paredes is going
Cam
to play
Smith.
third
Is he
base.
supposed to be good?
Who's that?
Cam Smith.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's kind of making a dilemma for the Astros because he's not on the roster. So he was a former first round draft pick by the Cubs, and he's not on the roster. He was a spring training invitee because he was in the trade with Tucker. And so he's going to spring training. He's hitting what, 419. He's had 4 home runs. He's slugging 871. He's kind of messed things up. They really didn't expect him to perform like that during the spring. So the things that I'm hearing is that he's forcing their hand. He may make their club out of spring training, which wouldn't be a bad thing. Now, the Cubs may be looking at it and going, I can't believe we gave this youngster up for, he's only 22. So I can't believe we gave this youngster up with all this talent. But it's a good thing. It's a good thing to have a guy like that that can produce. He's a real deal. He's a real deal. He's big. He's a big guy. He's a big guy. 6'3", 220.
To see whether the Astros can make it back into their tradition of getting to the final games, not necessarily the World Series, but the championship of the West Baseball, or what is it called now?
Right.
American League West.
American League Championship Series. The American League Championship Series.
I still remember when they were in the National League, not the American League, when they used to play the Reds, the Padres, the Dodgers, and the Giants all the time, and the Braves.
Right.
Now they changed that, I guess, a few years ago, and now they play the Yankees, the Rangers, and all of those teams.
Yeah, they switched over to the American League. They switched over to the American League several years ago, and the reason why I think it had to do with expansion, but they wanted to create this in-state rivalry with Houston and the Rangers, and so they put them all in the same division, the American League West.
Came over from the American League to the National League too.
Correct. Right.
Okay. Well, they needed to do something because baseball has lost a lot of its luster. Now they have the computer that is saying, okay, I'm going to call balls and strikes.
Well,
that's a test thing, though. They haven't implemented that fully, but they're seeing whether they can do that. I'm not sure that's going to work, but, got to try some more things.
Right. Well, they're implementing it in spring training. They have used it in the minor leagues. They've used this system last season in the minor leagues in the lower levels. I think they're trying to implement it next year in the big leagues. They're not going to use it this year, but they want to try to implement it next year in the big leagues. I'm a baseball purist. I'm not big on it. I don't. It is what it is. I get it. You want to try to get things right. I understand that, but you got to have some human element in the game, in my opinion, and you kind of take that out when you got this machine that's you can use to challenge whether or not the pitch is a ball or strike. Now, if you go back to the 90s and late 80s when the Braves were dominant, those pitchers were getting strike calls on pitches this far off the plate. So a lot of guys probably wished that they had the machine back then.
Understood. Well, we're going to see baseball this year and see if the Astros keep their tradition, and see if the Yankees not having beards will affect them, make them hit the ball better or anything like that. So Right now is March Madness, guys. I've watched a few games. Phil, what do you see that has been going on in March Madness?
Your typical March Madness. You know, you got your upsets, you got your favorites, you got your surprises. You got kids you never heard of having that shining moment in the first round because they're not going to go much further. And teams that play hard, play efficient, do what they have to do. You know, it's good to see some teams get in there for the first time and get the experience. You know, there's money involved in this too. You know, you get to split a little money with your conference, teams and make yourself a name. You know, for the coaches too. A lot of coaches swap jobs around this time, based on how they bring teams along. So it's good for underdogs. It's good for the people that really invest into the kids. So, and you get the neutral sites, and that's the thing I like about the tournament. So yeah, it's just getting heating up now. I really enjoyed watching St. John's last night. That's a team that a lot of people, any team Rick Pitino coaches is fun to watch.
Right.
He gets them going, man. I don't care. You can give him a Pop Warner team, he'll get them going. He's a different kind of guy off the court. Not too far out there, but you know, you can't expect him to be, you know, toe the line. But when he gets on the chalkboard in front of the kids and in practice or whatever he does game time, it's magic. So that's just one of the teams that not a lot of people are talking about.
I watched the Baylor Mississippi State game. That was a good game. Baylor, the 9th seed versus Mississippi State, which was the 8th seed, and that game lived up to its billing as Baylor won 75-72. That was an outstanding game. Then of course I watched Duke dismantle Mount St. Mary's 93-49. Alabama beat Robert Morris 90-81, and then Wisconsin beat Montana. Wisconsin, the number 3 seed in their bracket. So University of Houston, of course, won their first round game, and they won in a convincing fashion, 78-40. But now they got to play Gonzaga tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, 7:30. Gonzaga versus Houston. So that's the 1 seed versus the 8 seed. And Gonzaga won their first round game by 21 points. So that should be a good game. Houston versus Gonzaga. That could be an upset right there. If Houston don't come out and play well, that could be an upset. So Houston's really gonna have to really bow down and make their free throws, play some good defense, and handle their business, because that's a game that they can easily lose.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Jeff. I think if Houston plays the defense that they play, they really get after it on the defensive end. I think they'll handle Gonzaga pretty good. I think they could, kind of beat them maybe by 8, 9, 10 points. But they're going to have to be consistent, and they're going to have to rebound on the defensive end and really play some good defense. But you're absolutely right. That should be a really good game in the second round.
They really need to make their free throws. That's going to really come into play, making their free throws.
Yeah, Jeff,
who are the top 4 seeds in every region? I know it's Houston, it's Duke. Auburn. Who are the other 2? Do we know?
I think Duke
and Florida.
Yeah.
Okay, Duke and Florida.
I thought Duke was a 2 seed. You
Duke
sure?
Is the number 1 seed.
Oh, 1 seed? Okay. All right. Duke and Florida. Okay.
Cooper Flagg is back now. He played in the game today, and as Jeff said, they did dominate. So those are the 4 favorites. We'll see how that goes. But as always, there are going to be some surprises. Do we have any idea of surprises? Who's some surprises?
This is what I have as my Final Four. My Final Four, I have Auburn versus Duke, and I have Florida versus the University of Houston. That's my Final Four.
Well, you got most of the favorites up there. Maybe just one favorite, one team that's not a favorite.
All those are number 1 seeds.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
That rarely happens.
Yeah, that does rarely happen, because somebody's going to come in and bring some surprises, and we'll see how that goes. But it's interesting. So, Jeff, when are they going to be down to the final 8?
The final 8, let's see. We are in the final, what is it? We're at the final 32. We're final 32 right now. Well, 2 more weeks. 2 weeks. They go from 32 to 16 and 16 to 8.
They take that long? I thought they'll be down there by,
They play two
okay,
a
this is
weekend.
Friday. Yeah,
36,
okay, well, next week, right? By next week,
16.
they should be there.
No.
Sweet
It's
16.
usually the first week of April or the end of March. It's not, yeah.
I think it's 2 weeks.
Okay.
We're 2 weeks off, Paul. I think we're 2
Yeah.
weeks off.
So it'll
Yeah.
be probably first part of April. It always goes in April.
Right.
Okay, well,
As far as when they actually play the game. Right now, Florida leads Norfolk State 68-46 with 13:42 left in the game. So well, we expected that. Like you say, Florida is the
Yeah.
number 1 seed. Yeah.
well, it's just a privilege. I know they wouldn't say that, but it is just a privilege for a Norfolk State, an Alabama State to be there
Right.
as a HBCU team. They get some of that money, and sometimes they do make surprises. So it's a good thing. But we'll see
Alabama
how
State.
it goes.
Congratulations to Alabama State on winning the SWAC tournament, beating J State. So congratulations to Alabama State.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
And I did see them play against their first round game, and they won that.
Playing game,
Of
yeah.
course, they lost
The
to
playing game, right?
Auburn.
Yeah, that
Right.
was the playing game.
Well, we
Yeah.
expected that. Well, we
Yeah,
expected
we
to lose
did.
to
We
Auburn.
expected that. That's
Right.
the number
But I
one.
was proud of them that they won the play-in game. That was proud of them for that.
That was gutsy.
Well,
And it's the way they won it, which
That
is
was gutsy.
very
Yeah,
dramatic. Yeah.
exactly.
Good.
Right.
That was gutsy.
And Southern women did the same. They won.
Right.
Right. Yep.
I
Exactly.
I got,
Okay.
I got a
Let's
dark
talk
horse.
about the female tournament.
Oh, okay.
Is the female tournament set up basically the same way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Men
It is.
have 68
Yes, it is.
teams. The women, do they have that many teams in their tournament?
Yeah.
Do they have play-in? I don't remember if they have play-in as well.
They have play-ins too. They've
Okay.
done it.
Then it's the same. Then it's the same, Paul.
Okay,
It's the same.
all right. Same setup. But we know their top teams are USC is a top team.
UCLA,
You,
Texas,
Texas, South Carolina.
That's the
South Carolina is a 2 seed. Okay. You're right. They're in the
That's
region
the
2.
four.
They're in region 2. I have in the final 4. I have South Carolina versus I have USC versus South Carolina in the final 4, and I have USC versus Texas.
You did the same
Again,
thing to the women.
UCLA versus.
What happened to Notre Dame?
It's
Are
going
they
all
not
in
there?
the
Well, those are the 4 best teams. Okay,
Well, that don't mean they're gonna make. I mean, you're
okay.
entitled to pick who you want. I'm just saying it rarely happens. I would love to see that. You could pick that every year if you want it, but it rarely happens. I'm saying it can happen, sure.
Then pick your teams, Philip.
I didn't pick yours. I didn't pick mine.
What?
I didn't pick any.
Okay,
I'm giving you matter of facts. You can pick them, put money on it, bet your house, your car, your girlfriend, whatever you want. I'm just saying it rarely happens. And if it happens, it'll be great for fans to watch and see in men and women. Now, if you want to make a bet, I bet you it don't happen either way. And it's that, what's that you like to go eat? Papa, we can bet that. If you're that confident.
No.
Okay, I didn't think so.
You taking the field.
I didn't think so.
Taking the field. I'm locked into just those teams. You taking the rest of the field. That's easy.
Say what now?
I said you taking the rest of the field. It's easy for you to take the rest of the field.
No, I just said that ain't gonna happen. What you said. You confident.
All right.
I'm just giving you an alternative to make your man pick. Make your women pick. So look. From a legal standpoint, you respectfully decline my offer. Thank you. I'm good.
All right. But I still want to be your final 4.
I don't have one.
Give us your final 4.
I didn't look. Just so you know, I probably have not picked. Last year was the first year I didn't pick anything for the first time since the 80s, since our senior year in high school. But prior to that, I did the pool every year. I'm just kind of taking a step back and enjoying myself.
All right. I tell you what. If you're gonna be that way, how about a word from our sponsor?
Well, the sponsor is A-Rock Moving and Storage, a locally family-bound and founded business since 1959. We do all kind of moves, residential, commercial. Right. And look, just yesterday in our brand new warehouse, we put out a lot of furniture for the whole neighborhood to come by and get that's been stored there that we didn't use or didn't have. we just do so many things for the community. But DeAndre Sam, owner of the company, second generation, we do things for Conoco, Exxon, a lot of corporations. And if you call us, we'll come out and give you a free estimate. And if you need any moving services, packing, storage, we'll take care of it. We're located at 3401 Quarter on the corner off of Yellowstone and Peerless. Our number is 713-748-6024. We do have a website, arocket.com. And I'm Philip Green. Just let me know what you need, and we'll do everything we can to make your moving experience a memorable one, and that you can sit back and relax and not have to worry about all the things that go in moving, because moving is stressful. I get all kind of calls from people telling me what they want to do. And then believe it or not, I get ghosted a lot of times once I give them the spiel on how it's done professionally, because they think you can just do anything. And hey, they'll call me back a few weeks later and say, oh, I wish I had, I'm sorry. No problem. No problem. But that's the sponsor for this show, A-Rocket Moving and Storage. And we're glad to be able to be a part of the show.
A-Rocket, Phil, I need to put my stuff in storage. A lot of my stuff is storage, so I've bought me a storage unit. So can we take it from my house and put it in the storage unit?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You have to come by and take a look and see what we have, and you tell me what you like, because we keep things in the vaults. We're not like the typical storage where you go in, lift it up, go in and out. We have a huge warehouse space. I think I've sent you the pictures before, so you can see how
I already got a storage. So you have a storage facilities also?
Yeah.
Well, see that I didn't know. I wasn't clear on that.
Yeah, we've always had storage. That's why it's A-Rocket Moving and Storage. We've had storage at all times. And the new warehouse opened up in October, allows us 62,000 square feet more of what we already had. So climate controlled environment. And so you need to come by and take a tour. I'll take you around and you can pick out what you like.
So is the storage over on Quarter also?
It's all in the same facility, all on the same land. We're right there together. One is in the front and one is in the back. One is more that's on Porter, one more that's on Peerless, which is in walking distance of each other.
Okay. All right. Well, that is good to know. Moving and storage. A-Rocket.
Yes.
All right.
And Carl, they do an outstanding job, because they used to come to my company all the time and move us from one floor to another or from one office to another. And they always did an outstanding job, extremely professional. So I can vouch for these guys.
I vouch for them too. I've used them to move to my home.
Yeah.
So this was about 20 years ago. We moved from one house to another. Outstanding.
And I've been hanging around A-Rocket. I'm 63 years old. I've been hanging around there since I was 10. So I got a good idea what they like to do and don't like to do. Part-time most of the time, but full-time since May of 22.
All right.
Okay. All right, guys. Back to hoops.
Basketball is in full fledged. We see Cooper Flag is back playing.
Right.
I know the NBA scouts are very much looking at the tournament to see who they can see. I noticed a lot of players like I forgot what team had a 7'2" guy. He's African, but there's a lot of players who
Duke has one.
have big names, but they may get in the draft. There's I guess Bam Adebayo's brother is playing for one of those teams. So
is that
coming out? Is he coming out this? Is he coming out?
Say again, Jeff?
Is he coming out in this draft?
Well, even if he's a freshman, it's possible he's coming out. We don't know, but you know how that can be. They don't have to stay 4 years, so you have to keep an eye on them at all phases. So we'll see what's going to happen. But right now, as we know, Cooper Flag is the top prospect, and possibly Utah will have that pick. Of course, that is going to be up to the marbles or the ping pong balls of the
no way to know.
lottery.
There is no way to know.
Well, there's also Johnny Broome. No way. If he has a great NCAA tournament too, it'll be debatable, because he's played well all year. He's from Auburn, and you had a couple of guys on here before the show who also knew who he was and validated the same thing I'm saying about Broome. But you'll see him.
Right.
Auburn's been the top team all year, and he's the engine that makes that team go. So you'll see. He has a nice skill set. He just doesn't get the publicity that Cooper Flagg has been getting.
Right. That's
because
right.
he's a senior, and seniors don't generally stick around. So
Exactly.
actually,
I think the NBA want Cooper Flagg at a certain destination. They want him at a certain destination, and I think that's where he's gonna go. Whether it's San Antonio or whether it's Philadelphia or whether it's Phoenix, because now it could be. Well, no, it can't be Phoenix. We got Houston has Phoenix pick, but all of a sudden that pick is not as good now because Phoenix all of a sudden is in the playoff picture.
Well, I mean, but it's gonna. I would Flagg and Broom are probably going to be the first two picks out of the draft, in my opinion. I just think that whoever has the first pick, whoever ends up with the first pick, will probably take Flagg. I think he's really athletic, and he can do a lot on the court. But
he reminds me of some Tom Chambers.
Who?
Who does he remind you of? Old school. He reminds me of Tom Chambers, a young Tom Chambers. You remember Tom Chambers?
Yeah, I remember.
He used to play for the Phoenix, and also used to play for Seattle.
I think he has a little bit better skill set than Chambers.
I think so too.
Yeah, he's a little bit. His skill set is a little bit better.
One thing he's not that Chambers was. He's not nearly as tough as Tom Chambers.
Yeah, Chambers is a tough boy. I don't
think.
He's tough.
I think this youngster is tough. I think he's pretty tough.
I'm not saying he's not tough.
But the game,
I can only go by what's already been done. I'm looking back over the road. Now he may become 10 times tougher and 10 times better, but at the same stage, Tom Chambers came in the league right away busting chops. I don't know what this kid gonna do, but we'll see.
Well, he's gonna have to figure it out. Now, I wanted to say this. I saw a kid last night that kind of piqued my interest, and I thought he was pretty. He looked like he can really shoot the ball. Was the kid Hodges out of UNC Wilmington? They played Texas Tech, and he could really stroke it. He had a good stroke. He could shoot it. Hodges was his last name. He looked pretty good last night shooting the ball.
Is he a senior or you don't know?
I think he may be, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But those are the types of guys that in this tournament they go out and these scouts are there and they look and they're like, well, who is that? Because they, a lot of times they don't get a chance to see a UNC Wilmington or teams like that. But when you're playing on this type of stage and they're playing against a Texas Tech team, and this guy could really shoot it. He looked good.
Well, I like what the Texans.
Have you seen Mark Sears from Alabama?
Yes.
Mark Sears is definitely going to be a first round pick somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, you think he's going the top 12, top 15, or what?
He'll be a first round pick. I don't know. It depends on what teams need, but he's a senior, 5th year at that. And I wouldn't be surprised if PJ Haggerty came out, who's a redshirt sophomore.
Okay.
Out of Alabama?
Not bad. No, PJ is from Memphis. He went to Crosby High School. He was a Houston area player of the year.
That's right. Well, Memphis is my dark horse. That's why I picked to go deep.
Memphis?
Yeah.
Isn't
They
that
got
Penny
eliminated
Hardaway?
today, brother.
That's Penny Hardaway, isn't it?
Yeah, Penny Hardaway was the coach of the
year, exactly.
They got beat
Memphis lost today.
Who they lose to, Phil? I missed it.
I can't tell you right off, but they lost Colorado or somebody like that.
Oh, Colorado.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they lost today.
Right.
I'll be doggone.
As
right
we
after
know,
you get
anything
coach of
can
the year,
happen in the
Who was that?
as well as with the players.
Hardaway, what'd you say, Jeff? I'm sorry, Carl.
I say right after he get coach of the year, he loses. Right after he get coach of the year.
Coach
Amazing how that works out.
PJ was player of the year in the conference.
Okay.
I'm looking now, trying to see.
But I like what the Texas colleges are doing. I mean, Baylor, they advanced. You have Texas Tech playing tomorrow night against Drake. You got Texas A&M playing tomorrow against Michigan.
Gave a game away the other night to Xavier.
They lost the
game away. Yeah, Texas lost in playing. They had a 13-point
lead. They look soft going down the stretch.
Yeah,
they look like they just giving up. That was I shook my head.
They may be getting rid of Rodney too. I hate that, but they may be getting rid of him. Well, the little true freshman who was a superstar there, he didn't come through in the end either.
Right.
Johnson.
But they look soft. Once that team fought back, it's like they just gave up. They didn't get tough. They just looked like they had just given in, like that's it. But Memphis lost to Colorado State today by 8.
Colorado State, I knew it was one of them.
Hey, where you guys got U of H going? Do you guys have them going to the Final 8? Final Four or what?
I had them winning it.
If they don't win it this year, when they gonna win it? I mean, this is the best chance they're gonna have right now.
I
Everybody
have
at the
them winning
bottom,
it. I have
it's
them
a
winning
big
it
chance.
Win it. So
and beating
Not
and beating.
impossible.
I had them winning it and beating Texas A&M in the championship.
what? You
Well,
got
that would be a
A&M and Houston,
storyline.
Yeah,
That
you
would
got
be great.
A&M versus Texas A&M in the final two. Really?
yeah.
That would be great. That
Wow.
would be
Now,
a bragging right for the state of Texas. And
Ooh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I didn't even have my alma mater in the bracket. I didn't think they deserved to be in the tournament.
Well, they was in a playing game, so that
I
proved you were
know
pretty
they
close to
shouldn't even
right.
been to play. They should have been the NIT.
Probably.
These guys were just.
well, the NBA is in high highlights right now. And the Rockets have won 7 in a row, and they playing tonight.
8
They won 8 in a row, Jeff.
8 in a row. 8 in a row. Yes.
Okay,
8 in a
so
row. They playing tonight. Matter of fact, they playing tonight. Let me
Yeah.
put it on that channel. You got a
They-
whole
they're
bunch
playing
of games
right
on
now.
tonight.
tonight.
They're playing
So
right now.
we'll see if they can
Yeah.
continue. I think
Yeah.
Ume has made some adjustments. He's starting to utilize the big lineup, and that has really helped him. Because you're putting Steven Adams, Shagun, and Jabari Smith in there at times, and it's disrupting those teams. And
And
so
and-
he's really learned how to do that, as well as Fred VanVleet coming back has helped also. But when it comes to the playoffs, I'm not sure. I would not like them to play Golden State. I would like them to play, of course,
Oklahoma City.
City. But
Yeah.
anybody else, I think they can handle.
Denver
only
might
way-
be tough.
the only way they can avoid OKC until the Western Conference Finals, they would have to get the number 2 seed. They would have to get the number 2 seed if they want to avoid OKC. They got to get the number 2 seed, or even the 3 seed, because the 3 seed plays the 2 seed in the second round. So they got to get the 2 seed or the 3 seed if they want to avoid OKC.
And they're doing pretty good as far as having a chance to do that.
Right now they're in the number 2 spot. They 1 game up on Denver, and they're a game and a half up on the Lakers, and they are 2 games up on Memphis. It's all those guys are all tight. The number 2 seed, all the way through the 5th seed, all those guys are tight. It's real tight. That can go anyway. They can go anywhere from the 5th seed all the way down to 5. All you gotta do is lose a couple of games and the 5th seed.
Yeah, Denver's
Well, we'll
Denver's a
see
pretty good team.
where that's going to go. As I said, I think the Rockets have a very good chance, but I'm still going to choose Oklahoma City. And y'all know I chose Milwaukee, but Milwaukee is having some problems. So I'm going to go back to Boston in the East. So Boston and Oklahoma City are my 2 championship teams.
Well, I went with Cleveland the last time we talked about this, and they have lost 3 straight. So I don't know who I want to go with now. I might go back with Boston. Cleveland's struggling now. They lost 3 straight, so I don't know.
And they
I know
still
it's a
6
long
games
season.
ahead of Boston. Still.
Huh?
Still 6
Yeah.
games ahead of Boston.
I know, but still, you got to be playing well. Just because you got a better record going to the
It's
playoffs don't mean you're going to win.
82 games. You either hit a
I know.
slump at the
I know.
beginning, the middle, or the
Right.
end, but you are due
Right.
for a slump in some way. And
Right,
3
right.
games does not make you a bad team. I mean,
Right. They still have about 13,
They're
14 more
healthy.
games left.
yeah. they're healthy.
Rockets
They're not-
got 12 after tonight.
Right.
Yeah,
This
So
right.
yeah,
Rockets
they
got
still
12
got
now.
a few
They got
games
11
left.
after the night. They got 11 after the night. 12 right now. Right now,
Okay.
the Rockets are trailing by 4 early second quarter. They're trailing by 4 in Miami.
Phil, I want to ask a question about Cam Whitmore. I believe he's not going to be here next year.
I agree.
It would be prudent,
What?
in my opinion, since they're not going to play him, for they to give him a trade. And do you agree with that? And
Yeah, I mean, if they don't think they can service him or he can service them, but he's a great young talent. Sometimes you just need to change the scenery. But when they play him, he plays well. I mean, you have to have a balance in your rotation of guys that do things that you want as a coach. They just don't probably have a good chemistry together with him. But I think the players are more than happy to have him in the rotation. It's when you're winning and you don't want to disrupt that, if he hasn't been a part of that, then that's probably why. But I think he's helped get them to where they are. He's given a lot of energy, a lot of excitement off the bench when he plays. So I don't know what that is. I mean, I'm not privy to information about practices or closed meetings, or anything like that. But just from a viewpoint, from watching from the outside in, it's bad karma between those two.
Yeah.
And he
His
shows
body.
it when he plays. He
But
shows
how do
His
you
body
get,
language.
how do you give up on a talent like that? I mean, the kid is talented. He can
He is
score.
talented.
So how do you how
They got a
is
good
it?
young core of talent, but I think it's more personal too. So somebody has to step in there and fix that or move somebody. And more than likely, the coach ain't going nowhere right now. So it's probably going to be him.
Well, he's not
and
going
whoever
anywhere.
gets him, he's going to show.
But Phil, my thing is, it appeared to be that he wasn't happy with him on the defensive end.
Yeah, for sure. And I saw that myself. I could see that because he does.
And so how do you he's obviously pretty good on the offensive end. So how do you motivate a kid to go and bear down on the part of the game that you think he needs to bear down? Do you just write him off and say, well, I don't like him because he won't do it? That's my point. My point. So that's my point. My point is, as a coach, just because you don't like the kid right now, you can't let emotionally let that take over. You have to look at the talent and say,
But Elanis, he's that bad on defense.
But
he's
but
that
you
bad
have to
on
look
defense.
at the. But listen, you have to look at the talent, and you have to say, let me see what I can do to get that talent on the defensive end. What do I do to motivate him? I think
if it ain't in him, you can't get it in him.
I think this part of sitting him down is probably going to be a motivator for him. Him sitting down on the bench is probably going to be a motivator for him.
I can agree with that part because the pine plays with your mind. I've always said that. You get to look and see what somebody's doing that you're not doing. Now, here's another part of that. When is he going to look at himself in the mirror and say, I'm just as good on defense as I am on offense? That's a want. Defense is a want.
But that's my point.
Offense, but it has to be within him too. The coach can't do it for him. So as a coach, how we know we haven't had those sessions with him? He's probably had plenty. Look, they sent him down.
I agree with that. But
they sent him down to the G League where he dominated, but he didn't play defense there either. He just scored.
So my point is that exactly. Here it is. They know he can score. Here it is. They probably said, man, you need to pick it up on the defensive end, or it's not going to be a fit here. So MA has decided, okay, let me sit him down. He's not getting the message that he needs to work his tail off on the defensive end. So now he has to say something to himself in practice, or he has to say, well, doggone it, I need to pick it up on the defensive end, or the heck with it, I'm going to go somewhere else. Now, here's what happens. Coaches talk. GMs talk. So whether he goes to, who's struggling right now? Who's a team that's struggling?
Say Utah.
Who?
Utah.
Okay, say he goes to Utah.
They're not struggling, they bad.
So he goes to Utah, and he helps them on the offensive end. Now, his help on the offensive end is not going to help them win. He's going to go to a situation that says, man, I'm getting all this playing time, but we still losing. And I was in a situation where we were winning and we had a good fit. So maybe I need to try to pick it up on the defensive end. And you're right, a change of scenery may help. But I'm saying if you want to put forth a concerted effort to try to help the kid to see if he can do it, let's see what happens. Let's wait until the off season and see what happens.
I agree with that, but right now is the time we're talking about, the time that counts, why they can use meaningful minutes from his abilities.
Right.
So I'm saying we don't know if that hasn't happened already, and it's just what you said. They're just sitting him down to let him see and visualize, hey, I got to get better. But practice is where you win.
Correct.
Practice is where you earn minutes.
Right.
Whether the guys are healthy, better than you, whatever, it's in football, it's in basketball. I don't know about baseball because I can't speak for that, but I can
No,
definitely speak
practice.
football and basketball. In those areas, those are live simulated game situations most of the time. So you have to be able to make sure the coach sees and understands this is my skill set. This is what you're gonna get from me. I'm giving it every
Correct.
time I
I
step
get
out
it.
there. And in basketball, it doesn't
How many years has he
stop.
been in the league?
Just
The
the second
second
year.
year.
Yeah,
Right.
just the second
That's
year.
what I'm saying. So
Cam Whitmore
yeah,
is
he's a
20
young
years
talent.
old.
We
He's
know
the
that.
youngest guy on the team.
Yeah, and we know that. And he's a steal where they got him in the draft. So he's
Right.
going to
Exactly.
eventually shine. I am pro Cam Whitmore. I'm just saying the circumstances from the outside looking in seem very shady on both
right, it
parts.
doesn't look good.
Yeah, on both parts.
Right.
Let me
It
intervene.
doesn't.
And him.
It doesn't.
Let me
look
intervene
good.
here. Let me intervene here. You got to understand, Cam Whitmore, when he came out in the draft last couple of years ago, he was actually projected to go somewhere between 5 and 7 in the draft, as opposed to him falling all the way down to the 20th pick. And so people's wondering, the Rockets wondering, why is he still on the board at 20? Well, maybe that was the reason why. Maybe when those teams brought this guy in for the workouts, they saw that he was aloof. Maybe they saw that he wasn't willing to play defense. Maybe they saw that he had an attitude problem. Maybe they saw that he has an issue with his body language, where it appears that he's just not in tune to what's going on with his
Maybe
surroundings.
there's something
Maybe
much
they
more
saw all of
serious.
that, and because
Also,
of that,
maybe there's
that's
some,
why he was on the board at the 20th pick. Does that
maybe
make
there's
sense?
some Mad Max things or some Kevin Porter Jr. things behind the scenes. We don't know. But one thing we know is he's not playing, and he has a great deal of talent. Also, the guys before him, now it'd be different if he was a point guard, which the Rockets, they need another point guard to back up a Van Fleet, and they need another ball handler. Holiday's not a ball handler. Reed Shepard is not
Reed
good
Shepard.
enough.
That's what they
now.
drafted Reed Shepard for.
So that's something that they need. So I'm thinking, hey, Cam Whitmore may get traded along with other players who have value but are not playing, like Jock Londale, who does a good job every time he comes in there, and maybe Holiday or somebody. But they probably, in my opinion, going to make a package deal to get them a backup point guard. That's my thinking.
I really believe that they're going to make a deal, especially if they don't do well in the postseason. Let's say they lose in the first round in the postseason. This team is going to make a big deal because they're going to realize that they don't have the horses to be able to compete in the postseason. And I think that they're going to make a big trade. Now, if they do well in the postseason, let's say they lose in the second round in game 7, then they might say, you know what, we're going to keep this nucleus together. We think we got something here. But if they don't do well in the postseason, they're going to break this team up.
We see that they have put Jabari Smith on the bench trying to motivate him, and they starting Tari Easton. So
yeah, Jabari had 30
came back and hit 30
Yeah,
points
he did.
off the
He sure
bench.
did.
So that might be working.
Who is the backup to Sengun?
Stephen Adams.
So I think you need to improve there in the middle.
No, I think you're all right. I think Stephen Adams is a good backup to Şengün.
Well,
I think he's a good backup to Şengün.
he's okay. I mean, he's a guy that
Also Jabari Smith
he's
plays
a physical
back
guy.
Center also.
And you got Mandel. I think they're all right at center. They just need to get. They just need all the. Go ahead.
Who was the other guy?
Jabari Smith plays backup center also.
Oh, does he?
Right.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, the last game.
I've never seen him play the center position. I've just only seen him on the wing.
The matter of fact, the last game, they didn't know how to play Şengün or Adams at all in the fourth quarter and overtime because they went with the small lineup with Jabari at center. And they played very well with that small lineup. I like what Houston can do. They have the ability to play small with Jabari at center, and then they have the ability to play big with Jabari
and he's
at
not
small
so small at 6'11".
Right. So I like to have that ability.
Yeah. Well, we gonna see what's gonna happen in the playoffs. It's possible, but I want to add something that is one of Jeff's pet peeves. Angel Reese has mentioned about if they don't get paid what she thinks they deserve, they're going to sit out Jeff says, I think that is a mistake. I agree with him because they don't have the income coming in from the tickets at this time. However, because of Unrivaled and other things that have happened, their income potential has risen. But I don't think it's at the point where they can demand and have a lockout. Jeff, what you say?
They do not have, they have to understand economics. I don't know, maybe we need to send them to a principal of economics class or send them to a principal of accounting class or a principal of finance class or whatever. They have to understand if your league is only bringing in a certain amount of dollars and then you have expenses, and if your expenses are far exceeding your income every single year, you don't have a lot of flexibility. You don't have a lot of leverage as far as negotiating a much better deal when your league is still struggling to even earn a profit. So I understand they want more money, and I want more money for them. Bless their hearts, they play their hearts out. I want them to get more money, but they have to be reasonable. They can't just say, I want more money, and it's not fair to me. You make more money than us. That's not fair. No, you have to understand this is a different league. That league is established. Your league is still trying to learn how to walk. You still crawling. You got to learn how to walk. And once you learn how to walk, you get to that level, then you get paid. But you're still in that process of learning how to walk. They're gonna have to find a way how to make that product better. I've always said this, and I know y'all always get on me about this. I still think they need to lower the rims. They need to lower those rims, bring them down to 9'6" so we can see some dunks. It can be a very boring game when you got Angel Reese, who's 6'3", a power forward, underneath the basket, throwing up brick after brick, hitting the backboard, and she just throw it up there and then go get the rebound, throw it up there after the backboard, up the backboard again, go get the rebound, throw it up again, go get the rebound. I'm like, Angel, are you trying to make any of those shots?
Their product,
Moses Malone
their
did the
game.
same thing, Jeff. What's the
I
difference?
understand that. Yeah, he did. He padded his stats. He did. He did. But man, Angel misses more layups than she makes. I'm just saying, when you watch it, it's not a good product. If you're talking about
disagree.
trying to make,
I don't think you watched the product.
Yeah, the WNBA ain't that bad.
Yeah.
no,
it
you
ain't
missing
that
my
bad.
point. No, you missing my point.
I
I'm
get
talking
what
about
you're
it's
saying.
not
I
a
didn't
good
miss your
enough
point.
product
I did not miss the
to
point.
make the money that they want to make right now. Is what
We're
I'm
not
saying.
talking about money. I'm not. I get
We're
what you.
talking about money.
I agree with you 100% about the money. I'm talking about the product itself. If it's so
We're talking
bad,
about
they
money.
moving. Can I say this real quick? And
Yeah.
they're moving a lot of games. Believe it or not, that Caitlin Clark comes to town to bigger arenas. In about 8 of the, I don't know how many of the 10 teams that are playing, they do that all the time. But it's gonna get there. I keep saying it every time we come on and talk about WNBA. Yeah, they would be a bad decision to try to strike. And that don't make no sense. But when they do play, each year they've gotten better and bigger. And it's going to continue to get bigger, but they're going to get more sponsors. They're going to get all, the game ain't going away because you know why? The college game is feeding them, just like you feed a baby the spoon, to the big leagues. They're going to be okay. It just takes time.
I agree
Yeah,
with that.
you know,
Go ahead, Elanis.
I don't know the financial aspect of it, and I don't know what the ticket prices are. That may be one of the reasons why they don't generate this a larger revenue. Their ticket prices may not be as expensive as the men's ticket prices. Who I don't know. That's one of the things.
They're not.
Phil said the other thing that most of their arenas are not as large as the men's. So
they played in the same arena the men playing.
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
Not all of them.
Yeah.
They move, and they're moving some of them to them. They don't play all of them in the main arenas. They don't.
So that's why they don't generate the revenue like the men generate. But you know, it's something because the rumor has been that Fertitta wants to try to bring another ladies team back to Houston, which I think makes sense. I couldn't understand how the Comets folded after winning the championship, 4 years in a row?
4 in a row.
Yeah, 4 in a row after the when the league was formed.
Yeah, Jeff's right. It was attendance.
Attendance
It's different now than it was then. See, even now, they're going to have ESPN, ABC, which is the same station, they're going to broadcast 20, 30 games. They didn't have that back then.
And that's
They
a
got it
revenue
now.
generator. And that's a revenue generator.
Yeah, that's a revenue. Yeah.
Indiana got more games that's going to be broadcast than any team in the league.
You know,
Indiana.
Yeah, but they all should say thank you to Caitlin Clark also, because her and Angel Reese are helping things grow, as well as Unrivaled, which was a 3-on-3 tournament that generated a lot of interest with the top players, and that was televised. And so many different things are happening in the sport, but let those things solidify and grow, and they will build up that extra revenue. But if you do it now, you'll stop your momentum. So
I was just about to say that, Clark.
right now. Go ahead, Jeff.
I was just about to say that they really need to be careful. They really need to be careful. They are in a really precarious situation here. You have to understand your league is getting better, like you said, Phil. It's getting better. I agree with that.
They're just talking. They just talking.
It's getting better. It's getting better. But I'm just saying, if they want to make the kind of money that they want to make, they're gonna have to make some changes. They're gonna have to do something to
take a while. Even if they make the changes, it's not gonna happen overnight. It's gonna take a while.
And y'all still don't want, y'all still not in favor of lowering the rims for them.
No.
I mean, that's a good idea. That's a good
I
idea.
don't like it.
Thank you, Elanis. Thank you.
We got 4 people on here, Jeff. 2 say yeah and 2 say no. It's okay.
That's what I said. Thank you. I finally got somebody to agree with me. Thank you, Elanis.
I mean, I'm all right.
I mean,
I'm okay with, but I don't want
It
to.
may make it a little bit more exciting if you see more dunks.
I want to see some dunks,
If you see more
man.
dunks, it may.
And then
like
always
it.
in our mind, we'll be thinking, hey, the goal is shorter. Hey,
the ball is smaller. The ball is smaller too. So
WNBA and dominate me, Paul Alexander. I can go in there and dominate if they got the goal.
Goodness.
You know,
If you put an 8 foot with a chair, you ain't done.
But Carl, the ball is smaller too. So
anytime he put himself in this, I know we're in trouble.
You make my point, Elanis.
But we can give him an 8 foot goal and a chair and see if he can do something first.
man, ain't nobody going to hospital.
But
he wants to go
1 year.
Hey,
lower the rim for 1 year.
Nobody wants to go to the hospital more worse than Carl. Hello, telephone ringing. Who's she calling again this week?
Hey, yeah. I think I can still.
Clarissa Shields? No, we can't talk to you right now.
I can compete.
He wants to go.
Okay.
Man, we got dunking in junior high school ball. The boys are dunking. And the WNBA girls still no dunks.
Jeff, you taking away the integrity of the game,
like it is
dropping the goals. You taking away the integrity of the game. Now, it's a big thing when a girl can come in and dunk, and they will develop their body over time where it'll become a little bit more nature. But
Griner can dunk now.
I've never seen her dunk in a game. I've never seen her dunk in a game.
She has.
Yeah, she can dunk now.
There are some that can dunk, though. There are some
that can dunk,
and it's going to get better.
Have you seen a dunk in an WNBA game?
But don't drop the goal.
I haven't either. Okay.
I have. Not only, it's been at least 5 or 6.
5 or 6 in how many years?
Lisa Leslie.
Yeah, Lisa Leslie.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
5 or 6 dunks in 27 years. Come on, man.
Well, I didn't say it's been only 5 or 6 in 27 years. Those people dunk multiple times.
So,
right.
Does not make the game great.
No.
I'd rather see the girl at Dallas do the step back and the behind the back twirl move, and all that she does. The girl with the African name in Dallas, that girl is bad.
And it's not going to unleash a barrage of dunks. Those girls don't have the ability to do a lot of that. They have more ACL tears and all that in women than they ever have in men. It's just something about the way their bodies are built.
Right.
You know, right. I mean, you're going to change the game that bad. I mean, you're looking for a lot of stuff.
They can't take PEDs, man.
No, they ain't doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
Jeff, tell us about the free agency of the NFL and what's going to happen.
With the Texans. We're going to talk about the Texans. I like what the Texans did.
Coming up, hold on, Jeff. The draft is coming up also. Talk about the draft and the free agency.
Okay, I'm looking at the Texans. I like what the Texans did. Initially, I didn't like them getting rid of Larry Tunsil, but I understand why they did it now. I understand why they did it now. It was coming up on cap issues, having some major cap issues, and they had to go ahead. They had to re-up with Derek Stingley, and you see he got 3 years, $90 million. So he's now the highest paid defensive back in the NFL. And then they also re-up with Denier Hunter. Now he still had 1 year left on his contract. They just gave him a 1 year extension for $35.6 million for 1 year. So they ran out of money. It was not going to have enough money to be able to do this and to continue to pay Tunsil all the money he was making. So what they did is they traded him, and they came back and they picked up Cam Robinson. He's going to be starting in Larry Tunsil's spot. Now, he's not as good as Larry Tunsil, but he don't make nearly as much money as Tunsil makes. I like the move that they did to pick up CJ.
Let me say this. Tunsil, he got almost the most penalties in the league. I mean, I understand he's an NFL player and good, but
all
just
pro.
to say
Don't forget that he's all.
He
pro.
don't give up sacks, Carl. He don't give up sacks.
All pro.
You want to keep CJ Stroud healthy. That guy don't give up sacks.
Last year, keep him healthy. That is why they're making all of these changes in the offensive line, because the offensive line fell down more than not last year.
It was just bad.
Put like this here.
I'd
rather
agree
have an offensive lineman.
Did look bad.
They were bad.
I'd rather have an offensive lineman that jump off sides a couple of times a day, a couple of times a game, than I have an offensive lineman let my quarterback get hit and he's out the game. That's how I see it. But anyway, okay, so I like Cam Robinson, the offensive tackle. He's going to take his spot. I also like the dog that they got, the safety, C.J. Gardner-Johnson from Philly, that safety. Oh, that dude, that is a dog. And he is going to come in and make that Texans secondary much better. So I like that move. I also like the Ron Darby move, picking him up as a cornerback. I like that move. I also like the Christian Kirk move. Now, initially, when they made that move to get him, Christian Kirk, the wide receiver, he's going to be taking probably Tank Dell's spot in the lineup. Okay, I like that move because initially,
so you saying Tank Dell will not heal?
Yeah, Tank Dell won't be back this year. He went back this season. So he's going to take Tank Dell's spot. And I like the move because, and then once they made the move, they went back and renegotiated his contract and brought his cap number down, saving $12.3 million. I also like the move to pick up Justin Watson, the wide receiver out of Denver. I like that move. I also like the move to pick up Braxton Berrios. That guy, he reminds me of Wes Walker. He used to play for New England. Yeah, that guy's tough. He's tough. I also like Darrell Taylor, the defensive end that they signed. Darrell Taylor. I also like the fact that they brought back Sheldon Rankins. Sheldon Rankins played with us 2 years ago. Then he left to go to the Bengals last summer. Now he's back. They re-signed him. That's a big signing. So I like some of the moves they make. I really do. They also re-signed Mario Edwards to a 2-year, $10 million deal. So I like that deal.
Draft, Jeff?
The draft is the end of April, so it's next month, toward the latter part of next month.
That's still the key. They got to go out there and get some offensive linemen that are top notch that can come in and work with the veterans and protect CJ.
Listen to the defensive line.
So yeah, they need everything. Everything is going to be revamped there. But also, you have to give them a little credit. The line wasn't too bad. They made Joe Mixon look pretty good. And I said last year when they signed Joe Mixon, he was not. How you think Cincinnati kept beating Kansas City? It was Joe Mixon and Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and all the other weapons they had. But once they left him, that's the reason they went under. Joe Mixon is that kind of guy.
Okay, quick question. Who are you guys? What position would you address with that first pick in the draft for the Texans? Which pick? Who are you going with?
Offensive tackle.
Okay, offensive tackle. What about you? Yeah, you.
Offense, for sure. Offensive line, for sure.
Offensive line. Okay,
what about you, Westbrook? That's a good question. Yeah, they need some linemen. They need an interior lineman.
They good everywhere else. I get offensive line.
So you're going to go interior offensive
somebody
lineman?
Who can start. Right. Yeah, somebody who can start.
Yeah. I think it's going to be an offensive lineman or a wide receiver. Remember, Diggs won't be back. And
you just nailed about 5 new wide receivers. They don't need a wide receiver.
Yeah. But they
Yeah,
still
they
gonna
need
take one.
offensive
They're gonna take
linemen.
one. It's just a matter of which round. They're gonna take one. I think they're gonna take one in the second or third round. They're gonna take a receiver. Trust me. They will.
I
But
take
not on the first pick. You said first pick.
Right, right.
I take a edge rusher over a wide receiver after signing all those wide receivers. I'd rather take
It's gonna depend on
an
what
interior
receivers on the
offensive
board at
lineman
25.
and then an edge
Jeff,
rusher.
Yeah.
let's bet dollars against donuts. They don't take a wide receiver with the number 2 pick. What number is it?
You mean the second round pick?
Yeah, what number
Second
is
round
it?
pick. If they don't take a wide receiver with the first round pick, that's number 58. If they don't take a wide receiver with the first round pick, you telling me you want to bet me that they won't take a wide receiver with the first or second pick? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, I take that bet.
Okay.
I take that bet. And the loser takes the other one to Frenchies.
Man, you can get all the Frenchies you want. Matter of fact, I'll buy you a buffet of Frenchies. Win or lose, you can get there.
Hey guys, we're toward the
I
end,
just
but
ate
I
there
want
yesterday. Come on.
Okay.
toward the
All right.
end, but I'd
All
like
right,
to
Cole.
take care of a couple of housekeeping things.
All
We
right.
would like to have a program on May 23rd where we go out and we have a outing at a sports lounge place, and we're looking at Spectators, which is off of Lake Parkway. I don't have the address right now, but the name is
Right, it's off of
Spectators,
59.
Sports
It's
Lounge.
perfectly located. It's perfectly located because right off of 59.
All right.
Yes.
Also, a lot of things are coming up. There's always games to go to. We're in track season. They just had the TSU relays, which I did not even hear about. I would have went.
Yeah.
Tomorrow they're having the Prairie View relays, but I am going to the Penn relays this year. I've never been, and I want to make a special trip to see that. And again, Michael Johnson is trying to start this track league. We're going to see how that's going to go. But if we can get out to more things, we had a great dinner sponsored by Jeff where we went and celebrated the fantasy league over at what was that, Jeff?
Golden Corral in Pearland. Golden Corral in
It was
Pearland.
breakfast brunch.
Right.
And
But it was
great.
good. Boy, that food was good,
It was
man.
breakfast brunch.
And we had a very good time talking and sharing each other's company. And we're going to do more things like that and get out into the community and share our spirit and our expertise in sports. And it's going to be enjoyable. And I look forward to it. Any other words?
You got it, my brother. You got it. Let me check the update on the Rockets. Let's see. Go ahead. Oh, they're on a commercial break. Let me see what the score is of the Rockets game. Then we'll let it go. Anybody else got anything else? Okay, right now the Rockets are. Okay, hold on. What is it? Are they trailing? Somebody.
Well, Jeff, if you hurry up, we can go see it ourselves.
I know I'm having to rewind it. They're on a commercial
Okay,
break.
but we talking our business right here, and we look forward to continue.
Okay, the Rockets are trailing.
Our
Rockets
next
are trailing.
episode is, I believe, April 4th, and Jeff, that's going to be your show, and we look forward to the guests that you're going to have and your agenda that we're going to have for that particular show. Well, that's all I have, guys. Anything else?
All right, right now, Rockets trailing 59-51.
Okay, go ahead,
Is that
Elanis.
halftime?
Real quick, I think they got the clay championship, tennis championship coming up at River Oaks next month.
Okay.
That might be.
You know any of the people that are coming, any of the top names that are participating?
I do not. I will look that up and see, but it's usually a pretty good tournament.
Yeah, I've never been to that. That would be something that would be different for me.
Right.
And I do like to watch tennis, pay more attention. I would watch it before I would watch golf.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
you could probably, if you go to the golf tournament, you can kind of sit around and follow a particular group that you like if you watch it. But the tennis tournaments are pretty good because they're coming in and out all the time, and they have not just one court. You got different courts that you can go to and look at different people play.
You know, watching Lori McNeil and Zena Garrison coming up in our area, it gave us a little hope, kind of like the Tiger Woods of our era in this area of Houston in the state of Texas to watch. But, you know, tennis has always been a little something I wish, you know, we could pick up earlier, because as individual athletes, you could really express yourself a lot more with athletic ability, and it's an
Right.
expensive sport, but we didn't pick it up. But basketball, baseball, football was always easier.
What's the guy's name? Monfield. He's one of the young
I know who
brothers.
you're talking about. I know who you're talking about. Black kid.
Right.
He's good. Yeah, he's good. He's entertaining too.
He is.
Is that the guy from France?
Yeah.
Okay.
Montrose. Something like that. Yeah. He's good.
All right, guys. We'll see each other next time.
All right,
Okay.
fellas.
All
Appreciate
right.
you,
Have a good
Elanis.
weekend. Have a good
All right,
weekend.
fellas.
Same to
All
you,
right,
Elanis.
Gil.
All right, Jeff. All right,
All
Carl.
right.